Hello. I've started again because the connection was so poor, and let's hope this time we can continue. Because the Angel of Animals, Archangel Fhelyai, has been here. He came into the room and he left again, and he's come back again. And you know, sometimes the archangels, when they're on a special quest, they have to leave what they're doing in order to do something else that's really, really important. Oh, and thank you for the blessings coming in, and thank you for starting to join. And I thought that I would show you out of my orbs book. I'm hoping it'll be okay for you to see an orb, which, as you know, is the light of an angel that's been captured on film out of my book. Can you see the glorious colour? There's an angel of love in the middle, and the beautiful yellow light round it, which is exactly the same colour as this scarf, is the energy of Archangel Fhelyai. And when you see it, that's out of the Ascension Through Orbs book. When you see it, then it helps to make your connection better. Oh, Birkin, as ever, thank you. Beautiful, loving using my orbs cards. Yes, there is a pack of cards, and they have all the orbs that are in the books there. And an orb is a portal. It enables you to connect through its frequency to the angelic realms. Oh, there's Lame, and she's asking desperately for a message. So let's start and see if the dragons have got a message. So here's the pack of cards, and I'll just pick one from anywhere. Here we are. What have we got? Oh, you have got today the royal blue and gold dragon, and this strengthens you to stand in your power with wisdom. It wakens you to your own majesty, who you truly are, and it asks you to wear your cloak of power with pride. My feeling is that you have not been recognizing who you truly are, and this applies to so many people, and there's a huge surge in the angelic community and amongst the illumined ones to try and get us to recognize who we truly are. Because until you do, you cannot fulfill your destiny. And so this card says, come on, don't say please, please, please a message. Say, I am brilliant, I am majestic, I can bring through my own messages. As soon as you start saying that, the angels, the dragons, the unicorns all connect with you, and you move into a whole new way of being. So thank you for that request. That's really helpful. I've had lots and lots of questions coming in before the broadcast, and a lot of them were about how they can help the animals. How can you best help the animals? Because of course they are incredible beings. Many of them are much more evolved than we are. Even some of the insects are more evolved than we are. They're further on their ascension path, and they are stepping forward to teach us. Yes, the animals are actually sometimes holding themselves back so that we can learn. And I'd like to talk about some of the individual animals later on. And if some of you ask about the animals, that's great. But how can we help them? When I was thinking about this afternoon, I thought, well, one of the things that we can really do to help them is to create angel animal portals. And I thought that maybe we could all join together, perhaps in the middle of the program, and create a portal. You can do it, of course, in your house, in your garden, in your local woods, anywhere. But if we all created one together, we could perhaps do it where Archangel Fhelyai's retreat is. And this is in Scotland, in the Holy Island, Scotland. And if we create one there, it'll be adding to any portals that are there already. And then the beautiful sunshine yellow energy can go out and really touch the world. How so interesting there. Somebody's just put up, Jennifer, become vegans, please. And of course, that would help the animals, and it would make a difference to the health of humans, though not every human can be a vegan, because we have moved on so much, our bodies have changed. But a good many can be vegetarians and at least cut right down on the flesh that they eat. And I think that you have to be very careful if you decide to be a vegan, and take it carefully and easily and start reading about what you can eat and how you can make your body really healthy that way. And also, if you're doing it because you have a passionate desire to help the animal kingdom, that also helps and makes a difference. So it's very hard for me to talk about this because I'm not a vegan. I can see the huge benefits of it, and I can see that it's really great to always eat as low down the chain as you can. And so I think that, yeah, it's time that more and more people really did watch the animals, be very careful about what they eat accordingly. And they always say that if you ever went into an abattoir or somewhere where hens are kept, you would never want to touch their product again. It is really cruel. But on a really positive note, some years ago, the cruelty to cows reached a crescendo, and it ended, or it didn't end, but there was a climax when they got the horrible mad cow disease, and the great pyres of them were burnt. It was a horrific sacrifice on the part of the cows. The most terrible, terrible thing. The fire burnt a lot of the lower energies that had been hanging around them. And you know, the cows were actually considering leaving Earth as their planet of learning. And there was a lot of consultation with the Intergalactic Council. And the truth is, the cows really love Earth. They come from Sirius, they bring the gold ray of Christ with it, they spread it wherever they go, and they wanted to continue their learning and their experience on Earth. However, they have now decided that as the frequency of the planet is rising, they will continue on Earth. And I'm so glad that they've taken that decision. They originally came in the golden era of Atlantis, and they came in to serve and to be part of a family. And they were considered to be sacred, part of the family, very much loved. And they gave their milk lovingly, willingly. And at that time, the grass had a totally different frequency, the water was a different frequency, and it was exactly calibrated to be right for humans. And so they gave an offering of love, and in return, the humans loved them and sheltered them. And it's really important that we get back to that now. Somebody here is saying, oh, it's Jennifer again. The more I go into love for myself and animals, the more I won't eat animal products. I even started to eat raw veggies and fruits automatically. I think there is a point when that happens for a lot of people, so good for you. And of course, there's all the makeup that's tested on animals. As I understand it, if the product is sold in China, then it's tested on animals. So the question to ask is, does this company sell in China? And then find a company that doesn't, and ask and check them that it's not tested on animals. It's mostly the little companies. Okay. Oh, here's another one. I made a promise to myself to become a vegan. Oh, and somebody did some crystal work with some cows today. It's lovely. It's so important. Remember that part of the curriculum for ascension in this lifetime is that we start to understand and honour the animals. Now, I don't usually do this, but here we are. This is my latest book, The Archangel Guide to the Animal World. And it gives you information about why the animals are here, about what their soul mission is, because every animal has a life purpose and a soul mission, and some of them are quite awesome. And it tells you which planets they come from and all sorts of other information about them. It's really, really special and very, very important right now that so many people can start to understand the animals. And of course, if you understand them, you will be in awe of them. Excuse me, absolutely in awe. I'm coughing at the thought of it. It is so emotional about how the animals are helping. Okay, somebody has just said how it was so special for them reading about Archangel Gabriel and the rabbits. I think she was talking about the rabbits. And of course the rabbits are totally special. In the golden era of Atlantis, every household had a rabbit. Every child had one. The child stayed at home and the rabbits were heart healers. So if the child came home feeling upset, they would just hug the soft furry rabbit and it would literally heal their heart. The other thing that the rabbits do is that they tune in to the song of the earth. This is the song that Lady Gaia sings to keep Earth totally in tune, because of course Earth is mostly out of tune still, but she sings her song, which is the harmony of the earth, and the rabbits take this, and wherever they go, they are bringing that harmony to people, to other animals, to trees, and they approach people to try and bring them into harmony with the earth again. And I think that's just the most amazing mission to come in. And somebody here saying, Janine, that they've got pet rabbits. Well, cuddle them, hug them, recognise that they are doing an enormous job and really trying to keep you in harmony. And so they are taken to places and they gather in places where their energy is needed. And so again, you don't see rabbits by chance. They just gather where it's needed to bring the frequency up. Oh, somebody's come across a rabbit. Will there be a special dragon card from you when you order the cards from Hay House? No, only if you order them from my website. Then I tune in, I choose a dragon card and I sign it for you and I send it. And the offer won't be going on much longer, but fabulous Christmas present to have your own signed set of dragon cards coming to you. My granddaughter is here waving to me, and she's reminded me to say that I'm on This Morning television tomorrow. So if any of you feel like tuning in, or I don't know, it's a question and answer, I think, about angels. If you feel like asking questions, send them in. The more people that send in questions, the more interested they'll be in doing things on angels. And of course, that's what we need. There are so many people who are just opening up and are ready to connect into the angels and receive all the help for them. Yeah, and somebody here says, justice for animals is so important for the for our own heart health? Of course it is. And Denise says she just loves the angels and the animals. I'm sure more people have come in now, take that Archangel book, Ascension Through Orbs, and once more put up the picture of Archangel Fhelyai, the Archangel of Animals, in his glorious yellow colour. He has the colour of sunshine yellow. And just looking at that helps you to connect to the animal kingdom and to Archangel Fhelyai, the angel of animals in particular. It's an absolutely awesome orb, isn't it? And the orbs are special. Okay, let me have a look at this. Recently, a new cat on the block has arrived and repeatedly attacked my cat. That's really horrible. I've asked Archangel Fhelyai and Archangel Ariel, and I've tried to speak directly to the new cat and my own, but to no avail. He came limping through the cat flap yesterday, once again, bloodied, stressed, and in pain. Well, continue to ask Archangel Fhelyai and Ariel and any of the other archangels that it feels right to you. On a practical level, make sure there is somewhere in your garden that your cat can be higher than the other cat, whether it's a fence, a tree branch, or you actually construct something that your cat can be higher. Then it will feel safer and it will feel as if it's more top cat again and able to hold its own in the area. And of course the other thing is for you to send out total calm and centeredness, because your cat is picking up your energies and your stress about it, and as soon as it feels that you're stressed, it's going to be opening up its energy fields to be attacked, to become a victim. And I have to say that I really discovered this with my dog Venus, because I was always nervous that she would attack other little dogs, which she often did being a terrier, and especially when I moved house and she was feeling not safe. And then I realised that I had to be the pack leader, and I had to walk ahead and absolutely trust that she was okay and that she felt that it was safe. As soon as I did that, I don't think she's attacked or growled at another dog ever since, because she knows that she can rely on me, she can trust me to look after her. And so I do think that animals show us our own energies, and that if you start to shift your energy to one of absolute calm and centeredness, absolutely you're protected, then your cat will change and she'll be okay. No, she'll be okay if you do that. How can I communicate better telepathically with animals in order to understand them better and help them? That is another question I've had again and again. Now, we communicate with animals in two ways. One is with our heart. If you love animals and your heart is open to them, then you understand them. They understand you. That heart connection enables them to communicate telepathically, though that's really heart to heart with them. And of course the other way, telepathically, is through the throat and the third eye chakras, which are the telepathic chakras. And then you literally send out a message and leave yourself totally quiet and still so that you can hear what they have to say to you. I think so often we send them a message, but we don't wait to hear the message coming back. And that if we just relaxed, didn't try too hard, and trusted that the animal was giving us a message, back it would come. And someone here, Diane Bates, says she's drawn to elephants. Well, elephants are amazing animals. They work with Archangel Raphael because their third eyes are huge and open. They carry the divine blueprint for a perfect matriarchal society. And so as they carry that blueprint, they are showing every creature in the world how to do it. And what they're teaching us is that you can keep a family together with play. This is why they spend so much time squirting water at the little ones and playing with them. Elephants, of course, also travel along the ley lines and leave healing energy wherever they go. They're incredibly psychic and have huge, huge third eyes. And they are teaching us such a lot. Someone's asked about black panthers. Now, all cats are enlightened beings. They carry lots of the energies of enlightenment. Their main purpose is to look after your home and keep the frequency high. So if negative energy is coming towards your home, your cat will ensure that it goes. They also are teaching us about deep relaxation to a cellular level. When you see your cat stretched out, just lying there completely relaxed, it's showing you how to do it, but it's also probably working very hard. Working hard to connect in, to bring messages through from the divine, and it does an awful lot of work when it's just relaxed and seemingly asleep and being incredibly lazy. That your cat is doing so much. And then, of course, there's the tigers, the lions, the panthers, and they are the watchers of the planet. Lions and tigers are watching out for negative energies, negative entities coming towards Earth, and they are sending out the noise and the vibration to keep them away from Earth so that we are safe. And they've been doing an amazing job, and we really need to honour them and make sure that they survive. I was talking about black panthers, and I keep being distracted by the energies coming in and the questions coming in. So black panthers are very special, very fifth dimensional beings. Of course, they're black. So all black animals carry the divine feminine, the energy of magic and mystery. This is why a lot of people are afraid of black cats, and even I understand black dogs, because they have great power and great wisdom. So I have to tell you a story about a friend of mine whose son was an alcoholic. He had a lot of problems, and one day at a dinner party, he and his friends were talking about what they do if they saw a black panther, because one had been seen in the area. And he said, well, I'd jump into the canal if I was taking my dog for a walk. Anyway, next day, he's walking by the canal, taking their puppy, and he hears a sound in the bushes. And he whirls round and he puts his torch on it, and two great big eyes are staring at him. And he jumps into the canal. Now, what he didn't know was that the canal had been not dredged, they'd taken all the water off it, and it was thick mud. And he just went plunging straight in the mud. He was literally stuck in the mud. And he was holding his mobile by some great miracle. And he phoned his wife and said he was in the canal and he'd seen this Panther, and his wife put the phone down, told him not to be so silly. So he rang again, and eventually he persuaded her that it was actually true. All she was worrying about was her dog. What had happened to her dog? Was it all right? And he didn't know either. And so she called the police. Eventually they had to get the soldiers out and get him out. And the dog, bless it, was underneath the car, nice and safe. But that fifth dimensional Black Panther would not hurt him. The police found all the paw marks. They cordoned off the area. It vanished. It was not there to be caught. It was there to give messages to people. And it shifted him to such an extent that he went to AA and started giving up being an alcoholic and turned his life round. And so that is what they do. They literally come in when we need a shift, and they ensure that we do it. So it's amazing what animals can do. I'm sorry, that was rather a long story. I've got one here about basically why do animals bite people, especially snakes? Well, animals bite people because they're sending out the energy to be bitten, or because they're in absolute extremis and they know that it'll be understood. Like a friend of mine whose dog was bitten by a snake, and she was tending to it, and it was in such agony, it just leapt up and bit her, and it didn't mean to, and it didn't know what it was doing. I'm sure there's also a lesson in that, but part of it was that she loved that dog so much that she knew that it didn't mean to hurt her, so she wasn't upset or angry with it. But normally, if a dog goes for you and bites you, it's saying you're angry about something, and the dog senses it, and it's coming at you to tell you, because biting comes from a lot of anger or a lot of fear. So always, always look at yourself to find out what you need to change about yourself so that you change your energy and something different comes into your life. And snakes, people think they're very different. There's quite a lot about snakes in this book. They carry, and all reptiles carry, the original divine blueprint. The only creatures that it hasn't changed. And they also crawl on the earth, and they bring up hollow earth where everything is held at a seventh dimensional frequency in the very center of the planet. It sends up that seventh dimensional energy, sends up all the information and wisdom, and the reptiles, they crawl on the earth and they pick it up and they spread it for us to pick up too. Somebody had a weasel cross her path about a month ago. I did as well, only it was about a year ago. I was so surprised, so delighted. Do you know, I can't for the life of me remember what the message was, but it came as a very strong message, and I was thrilled, because they're very unusual. You don't see them very often. Here, what's this one? Someone who's, Jess, her cat passed away, and she is very upset about it, and even now, after 5 years, she is still heartbroken. And how can she stop? Well, it's really important to remember that when you hang on to grief, you're holding the animal or the person back. The animal cannot move into what they're meant to be doing in their spirit body if you have got a great cord of grief into them. The kindest thing you can do is to thank them for coming to you, send them all your love, and cut that cord so you're not drawing on them. Then fill your life with other things. Sounds as if your heart is empty and your life is empty. That's not what it's meant to be. So ask the angels to bring in other things for you, and open your heart to love the people and the animals around you. Somebody says, do animals have guardian angels too? Yes, animals all have 2 guardian angels. And this was really brought home to me when we were writing the orbs books, because nearly every photograph we were sent of an animal with orbs, they had 2 orbs on them. It was their 2 guardian angels with them. Yeah, here's somebody else saying it took me years to get over the loss of her cat. Yeah, because they love us so unconditionally. Nevertheless, if we love them unconditionally, we really do have to let them go. Is there a purpose for, well, I think she means cats, but any animals being in our lives? Of course. They all come to teach us something. If you've got a dog, you will know that your dog is teaching you about unconditional love, faithfulness and loyalty. They are such wonderful beings. Furthermore, they take on our stuff. They take on our illnesses, they pass it through their bodies, they do all sorts of things, and they really help us. They are such a joy and a comfort. I have one right here, you can't see her, and I have one down here by my feet, and they're just supporting us and looking after us and being great, beautiful, wonderful beings. Someone here says, are there black dragons? And I know this isn't about animals, but are animals aware of the guardian angels? Yes. Yeah, and somebody else says her cat is in spirit and periodically comes to say hello. Yes, and my cat that died many, many years ago, I've seen her several times just coming to say hello, popping in and going. Right. Oh, somebody's mentioned guinea pigs. I've got to talk about black dragons. Somebody asks, are there black dragons? Yes, of course there are black dragons. And so I picked out of the card pack a black dragon card. This is the black dragon from Saturn, who brings you wisdom through spiritual discipline. It's a very important dragon. And Saturn is the plane, often called limitation, but actually no, it's about learning spiritual discipline. And mighty beings like Saint Germain, who was Merlin in one of his incarnations, they come from Saturn. And how they got their power, their ability to live for years and years, to transcend death, and to do magic is through spiritual discipline, following the spiritual laws. And here is the other black dragon, and he cocoons you so that you can bring forward your divine potential. I love this dragon, and it's telling you to meditate and reflect, bring forward your divine feminine energy. Oh, what other thing? I'm trying to read all of these. Someone here is very afraid of domestic animals and runs away from them. What is that about? Well, I don't know what happened to you in a past life, but I suggest you sit down, and or even in childhood, and you sit down with a very comfortable, safe animal, a dog that you know, and one that you know is absolutely safe, and get to know it. Now, when Venus was a puppy, she's a terrier, and she thought small children were terrifying, and she would run up to them barking. It was so embarrassing in the forest if I couldn't stop her in time. And what I did was I would just sit on the ground with the dog and the child, and I would stroke her and I'd make her lie down, and she'd lie on her back in the end, and the child would stroke her and get to know her, and we'd perhaps spend a quarter of an hour together while the child lost all her fear of Venus, and it was actually lovely to see. And somebody asked about horses, and of course horses too come from Sirius, and they arrived in the golden era of Atlantis to serve. But they are noble, amazing beings, and they came to be ridden bareback. They allowed us to ride them. They never expected to have saddles put on them. They were free, and they stand for freedom. They bring you a message of being noble. They are great healers and freedom. And of course, animals choose the colours that they are according to the lessons that they want to learn or teach. And so if you have a black and white animal, it's teaching you about balance. So we have here black and white Sugar, don't we, Sugar? Oh, she's not going to move. And she's teaching everybody in the family about balance, coming into harmony. And she is the most beautifully balanced dog. Aren't you, Sugar? Do you think you let people see you and see how black and white and how balanced you are? Oh, she is Miss Cuddles herself, and she's teaching everybody about keeping their lives in balance. And somebody asked, well, what about just white? Okay, white is a very pure colour, and so animals that are pure white are usually on their last incarnation. Remember, pure white horses ascend to become unicorns. And I know several people that have actually seen this happen. And grey animals and brown animals are connected to the earth. And so they are, grey is the colour of Sandalphon, and he is in charge of the Earth Star Chakra. And animals that are brown, they are very connected to being on Earth, and that's why they choose that colour. So you've got the black for the divine feminine, the black and white, the zebras bringing their wonderful healing energy and taking it into the plains and bringing balance. Yeah, and all this information is in the Archangel Guide to Ascension with a great deal more. And they, we have to say a little bit about birds. Oh gosh, time is flying past. I've just seen turtles come up. Yes, okay. Birds are only here to teach. They have nothing to learn. If you have ever walked down a path and you have heard a little bird singing its heart out, you know what? Stop and listen, because that bird is singing to you of your divine magnificence. So listen. Somebody's just asked about chickens. Chickens are highly evolved. They come from a 10th dimensional universe, and they are bringing in service. They came to offer their eggs and their feathers in open-hearted love. But of course, they expected us to ask and say thank you, and we have forgotten our part of the bargain. There's somebody there. Oh, Keely says she talks to birds and people call her the animal whisperer. That's fantastic. That's lovely. Well, somebody's asked about crows. All the crow family, that's the magpies and the crows, they're called the magicians. And they are actually messengers of enlightenment. The reason they're called that is because old superstition had it they were unlucky. But in actual fact, if an animal or a human was about to give birth, they would go to them and they would warn them. A single one would warn them to prepare themselves. But they also come to you if you need to raise your thoughts or you need to do something different. And it's a single one is saying to you, come on, change your energy about this. and that means they are trying to bring you to enlightenment. So they're not what most people think they are. Hawks come up. Hawks are third dimensional, and and the eagles and the condors, they are fifth dimensional. So an eagle spreads out its wings, it floats on the air, it is a master of its element. It looks down and sees everything from a higher perspective. So it's teaching us that when we master something, it comes easily to us. They're also teaching us to look at life from a higher perspective. Now, a hawk is doing the same thing from a lower frequency. So it's telling you to look at things from a higher frequency. Somebody's asking about squirrels. They're appearing in all ways and forms and colours on her path. And there are grey squirrels that come from Sirius, and they are teaching us about solving puzzles. One of their messages is there is a solution to every puzzle. So keep looking for the answer. The red squirrels, they come from Orion, the plane of wisdom. And so they are carrying in their energy fields the wisdom that enables you to take a problem and find the highest solution for the highest good of all. So they are beautiful, beautiful creatures. And there are lots of animals that come from Orion, like are dragonflies related to dragons? Not really. The dragonflies are about bringing magic into your life and looking for the magic. Giraffes. Giraffes have open crown chakras. Now, isn't it interesting that so many children's books, in the illustrations, they depict a crown on the giraffe's head? The illustrator at some level knew that. And so they are working with Archangel Fhelyai, who's in charge of the crown chakra, and their task is to bring the energy right down through their physical body into the earth and be a bridge between heaven and earth. And they have a service mission, which is to trim the treetops. Yeah, and rabbits of Orion too, somebody says. Owls literally do carry wisdom. They stand for wisdom. Everyone calls them wise owls. And when they call them a wise owl, that's literally what they do. They appear to give wisdom in the area that they look after. They look after a particular area, and they pour higher energy onto it to try and hold the frequency high. They also teach the elementals at night. So they have a school for elementals. Isn't that amazing? I can hardly believe it when I was first told about it. Seagulls have come up. Seagulls, they are third dimensional. Now, all birds are teaching us something. So what the seagull teaches is that when we quarrel and fight and steal food from each other, then everything is out of harmony. But they can then soar off into higher frequencies where everything is back in harmony again. And so they're teaching us to get away from the quarrelling and the fighting about things and just rise up where everything is much easier. Are all water animals from the same dimension? Absolutely not. You've got the dolphins that are 7th dimensional. Whales come from a 10th dimensional universe. The turtles, the sharks, they're all very high frequency. Let me explain. Oh, somebody's asked about ticks. I'll try and remember to answer that in a minute. The dolphins carry the wisdom of Atlantis and all that knowledge and all that information about spiritual technology and how we can take the world forward. They are absolutely awesome, but this knowledge is so important that it has to be protected, because if people took it, they would destroy the entire universe. So there is an army of high frequency creatures that protect the dolphins. These are the whales from Shekinah, who came in to keep the oceans at a high frequency, the sharks, who come from the ascended aspect of Mars, which is called Nigelle, and they are literally the peaceful warriors of the oceans, the spiritual warriors. They keep the discipline in the oceans and they protect the dolphins. Then there are the turtles that come from the ascended aspect of Jupiter, which is Jumbe. They are bringing in abundance consciousness. And I have to say here that they are highly intelligent. There is no way a turtle eats a polythene bag thinking that it is a jellyfish. No, they eat a polythene bag and go through agonies to teach humans to look after the oceans. And the last animal or fish that's in the army protecting the dolphins are the rays. They come from the Pleiades and they spread healing energy wherever they go in the oceans, as well as look after the dolphins. And so, I said we were going to make, we'd do it quickly, a portal for the animals. And the colour of Archangel Fhelyai, as I've shown you in his orb, is this beautiful yellow, sunshine yellow colour that I've put behind me. So in order to make a portal, which is a space where the energy, the frequency is much higher, we will just rub our hands together, that's just to energize them, and ask the angels to come through our hands, to pour their energy into a place to create a portal. Now you can make your own one, but I suggest that as many as possible send it to Scotland, to the islands of Scotland, to the Holy Island where Archangel Fhelyai has his retreat in the etheric, and we create a beautiful sunshine yellow animal portal there for animals to go to when they need comfort, where they can go to pass over easily, and this especially applies to things like roadkills that are in shock, and where humans can go, where angels can take the spirits of humans who need to shift their consciousness about animals. This is really important. So let's just close our eyes, send your energy right up to the Holy Island in Scotland and start to build a huge stream of light. If everybody does it together, I can see it starting to build. Okay, come on in, dragons. Come and please the dragons of Archangel Fhelyai, come in and swirl round the portal to protect it and help to make it stronger. Oh, other angels are coming in now. Brilliant. Masses of angels, masses of sunshine yellow angels of Fhelyai, also Michael's angels, also Raphael's angels are coming in to put healing energy into this portal. Oh, that is brilliant. Oh, that is fantastic. The portal is growing and growing, and now we call in the earth dragons and we ask them to ground and anchor this portal. And we ask that this portal remain here as long as it's doing its job and being a place where spirits of humans can come for re-education and to raise their frequency, to change their consciousness towards animals. And already there are angels bringing the spirits of people to this portal for this shift. And animals are coming just for comfort where they've been abused. Oh, that's lovely. And it's giving them a heart. Fantastic. More earth dragons are coming now to send the energy deep into the earth to anchor it. Okay. We have done our task. You can add more energy whenever you want to, perhaps when you go to sleep at night. And what I would like to show you is the dragon of Archangel Fhelyai. This is the dragon that helps to look after the animals, and it will be taking animals to this portal, helping people to go to the portal. Isn't that fantastic? And it helps you to help the animals, helps you to serve them and understand them. Just a reminder, I am on this morning, tomorrow morning on television, if anybody wants to tune in about 11:30, I think. There is lots and lots and lots of information about animals and birds and insects and everything to do with nature, trees, in the Archangel Guide to the Animal World. And we still have the dragon cards on offer, and golden orange dragon, so lovely. And so if you want one, and I'll sign a card for you and send it with your pack, they're on special offer for only £8 from my website. It's been absolutely lovely talking to you. As you can tell, I'm very passionate about the animals and understanding the animals, and they are so special. So it's time to finish, but next week, I think maybe we'll talk about Archangel Gabriel and his dragons, and it would be lovely to see you. I wonder if I can get Venus just to come up and say goodbye. Venus, come up, up here, come on. No way. I don't think you're going to, but you might. Come on, babes. Come on, Teddy. Up. Yes, up. Good girl. Come on. Sugar's been so good. And she said goodbye. Okay. Here's my Venus with her beautiful Egyptian eye and her white. And she's saying, bye-bye, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Bye-bye.